Welcome to the White Lotus channel. Deck update. We ran Boros Synth a couple days ago, and there's a flexible slot in the deck. If you want to see kind of a overview or breakdown, you can go see the deck review of Boros Synth. But we have a flexible slot in there was an Ichor Wellspring in the deck, a one of. And I'm looking at this as a flexible slot. And I think removing Ichor Wellspring as a one of is probably optimal, and dependent upon the meta, there's a lot of things you can do. You can run an extra Dawnbringer Cleric if you want to. Quark Clan Shaman, which some run main, is probably the best flexible slot. Some run one in the main, some don't run any in the main. But I can certainly see a one of Quark Clan in the main. But in that flexible slot, you can just kind of tune it to whatever it is that you expect to face. I was watching a David Royale video on Infinity, and he had a Miser's copy. I think it was one of a Reckless Fireweaver, and I thought to myself, is it possible that Fireweaver, similar to a Flame Breather, can give a little extra reach to the deck? Munitions is running Boros sometimes main or side. We've got one in the main, and I thought, well, let's just see what'll happen with Fireweaver. I can't see it more than a one of if you do run it, but would it provide some reach? We got a match where we can see that. I hope you enjoy it. Game one, unknown opponent. Opening hands weak due to lands. It's not a bad opening hand. We've got lands, but we want to see some other things like Synthesizer, Lembus, other things like that in the opener to go with Glint Hawk, but we'll keep it. Mountain Pass, burn more than likely. Sure. Flame Breather is just so good. Hence the Lightning Bolt. I don't want to deal with it over and over. It will stack up on you. I'd like to hold my burn spells for as long as I can and prefer to burn the opponent than the creatures, but there's some creatures that I'm just going to deal with. I did not chain this back here because he's going to chain it. I should have chained the second copy, and that's my fault. That's a punt. Going to 12 versus red is a little dangerous, especially if there's a Flame Breather in play, but he's only got 2 cards. So I feel safe taking it. Plus, I don't have Metalcraft for Galvanic Blast. And it's so often that I'll confuse Rustvale Bridge and Windscarred Crag. Like, I have to double check it. I've made the mistake far too many times. But feel pretty comfortable right now. I mean, multiple synths, fine, whatever. I like where we are. He still has 2 in hand. We're good. Metalcraft is on board. Any creature you play it, even though I don't want to get rid of it with burn, I will. Really like Glint Hawk and Core Skyfisher overall. Just 4 in the air, uncontested against a lot of decks adds up very, very quick. Make another punt here. I think it's more of just seeing Fireweaver. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna just get this into play. Should have cast Fireweaver, then Glint Hawk, in my opinion. Hence, we get the second land that's unplayable, but it was a punt, in my opinion. I don't like being at 8 ever. Not against burn. 8 versus other decks is a different thing. But there's a win here, and I kind of know it already. So we're gonna get some reach off the Fireweaver, recast Synthesizer, get a point in off the Fireweaver, Gal Blast for 4, go on to game 2. Game 2 versus burn. Good opener, excuse me. Like the land count, Certainly didn't see Bar Battle Fist game 1. Loving it in game 2. If we can pick up a Synth or a Limbus, pretty happy about that. But solid opening hand. Going to get some value with Glint Hawk and Bar Battle Fist. Pretty standard for the deck. That's nothing new. The deck itself is pretty much where it's been for a while, except for Limbus, the Limbus edition. It's a good turn from the opponent. We lose Bar Battle Fist and Glint Hawk, so a solid turn. 4 cards in the opponent's hand, but we've got pressure building. Not a lot of concern right now. Holding the Sky Fishers just to get some value, or hoping to get some value. Yep, that's fine. 2 cards in opponent's hand, random resolve in exile zone. Very comfortable where we are right now. Extremely comfortable with a Limbus. You can't forget its second ability. Sacking it, gaining 3 can come into play. Just finding value where there is value. But it's a big upgrade. Limbus is over Ichor Wellspring. That Scry 1 is sweet. The opponent, he stuttered. Yeah, I'll take a second one. Could bottom it, but just trying to see as many cards as we can. Comfortable where we are. 4 uncontested in the air. 2 cards in hand. He's got to bolt them. Really like where we are now. I don't mind the Reckless Impulse there. Especially with Mountain Swifty. Get in for 4. We've got Metalcraft, but double checking, see the Fireweaver. 1/3 body for blocking is pretty good too. And right now, it's, in my opinion, game is over. And Smash the Smithereens didn't know what he was targeting at first. He was going after the Limbus, which we left the mana open to sack it in the event that he tried to exile it or destroy it. Game is solidly in our hand now. He's got no cards. Even though I'm going to block here, I'm just blocking just cause. Like, I already know it's over. Wasn't a really good draw, in my opinion. Game 2 for the opponent. And now it's just, how are we going to close it out? Attack in. Let's get some 2 points off Reckless Fireweaver. Get 1 off Limbus. Play Thraben Inspector. Grab a point off the token, the clue token that comes into play. Anyway, it's enjoyable to play with. I like it. I still think Quark Clan is probably the best slot, but I can see room for 1 Reckless Fireweaver. Hope you enjoyed the match.